Okay, Tombs of a Masket with the Shadow and Max Mage. And then I've got just minimal other gear here. The total value is 1.48 billion. Invos are going to be here. And I do use these inventory tags. Don't necessarily recommend these. These are just what I use. So for pre-pot, do this. As soon as you hit your saturated heart, get into the raid. Okay, I usually reset if I hit a 7 or less, so we're gonna exit the raid here. You can choose your own level at which you reset. There's no timer on this, so you could stay in here and finish it. I just like to do this with a higher circle hit. It speeds the raid up. And you also use less resources in this room, which can be helpful. Alright, when you're resetting, try not to waste too much time. Just pre-pot and get right back in there. Okay, a 9. It's barely any better, but that's okay. Not sure. I think you can do a calculation on when it's worth it to leave the raid or not. The average hit on the circle is about a 12. I think it's 12.5. Max hit is 23. I always use my shadow on long range, and then I mark the long range on this room. I don't recommend ever taking your shadow off long range in this raid. You can get accidentally dragged out of some situations and end up dying. Whoops. Took a hit there. .415, pretty good time. You can use your whip on the first 3 rangers, and then BGS on the rest. Or if you don't want to worry about it, you can just use BGS on all of them. Oh. That's annoying. Okay, make sure to hit this Ranger. Because he's the only thing that can hurt you. But he does a lot of damage. Stepped in the venom. Try not to do that, obviously. You can heal up a little bit. I'm going to heal on one of these just to get a little bit of extra health. Take a prayer regen. Maybe drink one restore. I drink my super combat and then drop it. Okay, put rigor on. the wrong way. Oh. Whoops. Might have to 2 down this. Yeah. Lost a tick in there somewhere. Trying to avoid that shadow. Since there's no timer on this, I don't recommend tanking the shadow. You kind of need all the health you can get for Akka. And I think if you do it correctly, you can always skip the shadow, so it's good practice to try to skip it. Alright, take that and then put it away. Get your mage gear on. Take your prayer regen. Drop it. Drop a potion. I like to do the white one first. Okay, we're gonna tank. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what you can do around this time is do a Keras. Depending on how comfortable you are. I'm going to go ahead and Keras. Get your mage gear back on, except now swap your light bearer on if you're towards the end of the fight like this. Get your prayer recovered back up. So even though you take a DPS loss for a little bit, I just go ahead and use the use the light bearer. Try to make sure when you switch back to mage that you don't accidentally put your Magus ring on. To be safer, you can kind of drag it away. I still sometimes accidentally swap it back on at bad times. But yeah, keep your prayer up. It's unfortunate that this guy's switching on us this much. A lot of times you'll get all the way through without a single switch. 4, 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we can put our Magus ring back on. Once it gets around 100, so right now he's at under 100, withdraw everything from this bag. Take your adrenaline, get your prayer up, and then just finish him off. All right. We can drop a couple specs in here, but don't get too carried away. You want to save plenty of spec for kerosene. All right, get your prayer up. Get ready to prepare us. I'm gonna go ahead and Karis here just because I see that I'm about to finish him. And then I can overheal for the next boss. Dump the rest of my specs to finish him off. But I definitely recommend taking an adrenaline there. You're gonna get 4 doses in this raid, so very good. This is a slow time for Akko, but he switched, I think, twice on us without making any mistakes. He just sometimes automatically will switch, so unfortunate, but happens. But that's very slow for a level 4 Akko. You're shooting for like 6.5-ish. Okay, time to shadow the Kefri. This is be pretty different from melee methods. You've got to position yourself in certain ways. You can get more attacks in because you don't have to be at the boss to attack. Anyways, take your salt, put your circle on, special attack, attack. Okay, that was a pretty bad circle. 7 is like really bad. I think average is like 15 or something. But that just means it's going to be a somewhat long fight. It's a level 5 Kefri as well, so it is what it is. Make sure to move out of the blow up radius of those. They have a blow up area of 5x5 centered on the item if it's level 4 or higher. Oh, whoops, messed that up. Alright, keep your prayer level high. Try not to tank one like I just did right there. Take a dose of sand few. Alright. Stand in these last 3 rows. Attack this guy. Send another attack. Once he gets close, we're going to switch to protect from melee. Alright, he's dead. Swap back. You can attack these swarms if you want. Doesn't usually make much difference because probably made a little difference there. Alright. Now we're just going to do a melee trap. Don't worry about trapping the second ranger. He's going to be just fine. Okay, run here, sprint this way, run this way, throw one attack in here, then run back this way. Okay, he swapped sides. Run this way. Keep attacking this guy. I should have sent 2 attacks towards this guy. Alright, I'm good to go. Alright, there's a ranger there that can reach me, so I'm going to run to these last 3 rows here. On the west side of the room. Alright, that major or meleeer is dead. Don't worry about the rangers. I sent one too many hits towards the ranger, but alright, start piling up on one of the diagonals. I'll take a prayer regen. Make sure to be ready to pray protect from magic if for some reason you get a lot of misses on the magic scarab, then you can avoid death. So what I did there was a little trick where I send an extra attack in. And I'll try to show you another example of that here if we have enough. Okay, you don't want to do it when you're not free on one, when you're not already pushed up against something, but all right, here we'll do it. Just keep spam clicking and you'll send an extra attack at the back of the room. Need to pray. Might get another chance here. It's kind of questionable whether to do it with this much health, but I'm going to do it anyway, just for an example. So if you notice that, you can probably pause and rewind or whatever, but he sent an attack, he got pushed back, and he actually sent an attack back there before he got hit by the dung. So you don't waste 2 or 3 ticks. Just slightly speeds things up. Alright, yep, take power again. You can, like in that case. No, actually I think with this setup you have to take power both times, so take power. I like to put my fang down here. Put this in a good position to swap it on. It's going to be critically important. Alright, we need our dagger there, our whip, and our Bandus Godsword. We're going to use all 3. You use the dagger when you've got plenty of special attack energy. You use the whip when you're low on special attack energy or you're conserving it for a heal. And then you use the BGS for the last hit. Your adrenaline, you should have plenty of adrenaline, but obviously don't waste it. And yeah, with that, let's just roll here. I like to get my thrall up first. Take your smelling salts. Be ready to swap that light bearer on once you do your first spec. Okay, once the second one hits, I like to wait until right after I attack, drink 1 dose of adrenaline, then wait until right after another attack, Karis, keep attacking. Sweet. The reason I run up like that is to potentially avoid, if we'd shot that last projectile from the back, it would have taken longer to reach. And then that second orb might have hit us. But if you do that, you have to be ready to run back because the pyramids could screw you. Alright, as soon as he's around 90, you got to be ready for swapping. Alright, swap. Still got special attack energy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then make sure not to put that Magus ring back on. And I've got to heal pretty soon. Get our prayer up, get ready to heal. And as soon as we take damage under 10, alright, heal. This is not a great place for this thrall thing. Okay, I like to use another special attack here. Another adrenaline, I mean. Got to get ready. I think this does about 5% damage per hit. So right here it's going to hit. Special attack. And Dragon Dagger. 1, 2. I'm not going to do any more than that. I don't have that much health. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Yeah, so at this point, I try to make sure not to have, well, I gotta focus right now, be ready to heal. Heal right. I'm gonna go ahead and heal. Don't put your Magus ring back on. That'll mess everything up. Okay, here we go. Spec. 1, 4, 5, another spec. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's kind of tight to get the 3 down here with this setup, but definitely doable. I guess one of the biggest things is just be careful with your dagger. Using your dagger spec to not be at like 30 health and then use all your special attack energy, and then he just kills you and you have no way to heal. You need to get him under 80% on the first down for sure. Otherwise, you're not going to make 4 down. I mean, you're not going to make 3 down. And proc a thrall here. And if you want, you can just take your other salts here. Take your prayer regen. And with this much prayer, I'm going to do Mystic, Vigor. We probably could do Augury, but actually I'm going to do Augury because we're actually already down to 60%. Oops. Alright, almost tanked that one. Was not paying attention at all. And then tried to save it. I'm just going to go ahead and Karis after this special attack probably. Gotta be kind of careful with our wave skip. Alright, Karis. I'm going to take the Adrenaline now, Karis. And yeah, pay closer attention. You can start drifting off. This is kind of a monotonous part of the raid, just sitting here, but you're almost at the end. You don't want to wipe right here. In this case, if I would have wiped right here, I don't have enough resources to finish the raid, so that sucks. It's a wiped raid. Okay, get your prayer up. If you got here by doing 495s with a shadow, this is going to be no problem for you. Oops. If you did not do that, then yeah, I mean, yeah, if you don't have the practice, I'd just come in here and practice, but with a shadow, it doesn't require near as much practice. Occasionally, you might have to keras. It's best to keep your... Actually, I need to keras here. Not being very careful. Okay, I'm going to take one more potion, keras. Get that prayer right back up. Okay, oh, it worked out. Yeah, kind of sketchy at the end there. Shouldn't have taken that damage earlier, but it happens. No purple, 15.3% is what this comes out to with no deaths. Here's our times. Akka was about 2 minutes slow. Other than that, everything's pretty normal here. I think. Yeah. Wardens could be faster, a minute or two, but you can run the time invo and drop the Pathmaster. Do like this. I don't recommend running both. It's pretty hard, but and then get really good at your time. It's just hard with this level of melee gear to make time. Pretty difficult. I would say with a Void Waker, once you get a Void Waker, that helps quite a bit. Using that on Baba and Kefri potentially. And yeah, there's a few other key pieces that are pretty helpful. If you can get a Ranker, eventually an Avernic Defender. Yeah, at this point it is worth buying an Avernic Defender, I think, if I remember right. Yeah, I'm not sure what the priority is on that, but obviously if you can get an Infernal Cape, that helps. Oh, the Altar Ring. Once you get the Altar Ring, that's a game changer for sure. Yeah. Some of that gear, it's easier to make. At that point, it's a little bit easier to make the time invocation, but it's definitely doable with this method. You just got to push your time and try to make it happen. So that's how I do it anyway. I don't know if that's the best way to do it. There's almost certainly guides out there that are more efficient, better than what I do for this. I haven't done these type of raids in a while. I usually do higher invos with max melee, and the strategies are a little different, so I'm sure there's better guides out there, but should give you a rough idea.